Hey everybody! So, new patch on the PTU. Another iteration of patch 3.3. I've honestly lost track of which patch number they're on at this point for 3.3 sub patch number. Something high. If you aren't familiar with how 3.3 has been going in the PTU, it's been kind of a roller coaster. So, it seems like they nail down the crashing and then frame rate goes bad. And then they get the frame rate fixed, and then things break like terminals and ship parts like elevators and ramps and spawning and stuff like that. Then they nail that down, and then it starts going back to crashing all the time. And it's kind of been like a weird little cycle of that. So, anyways, today's patch, or tonight's patch, I guess. Tonight, today, depending on your time zone, has actually been some of the smoothest that I've seen so far. A lot of people have been saying that they're having issues with crashing to desktop. So far, I have not. I haven't had any issues with it. It's been performing actually pretty fucking smooth. Hey KPW, how's it going? Yeah, it's only 10 for me so far. But I have no doubt if the patch continues to run this well, it'll be 3 a.m. for me, and I'll still be here too. Hey Nerdman, it is not X4. So we're just kind of dicking around on 3.3 right now with some guys who were gracious enough to bring out a hammerhead and let me cruise around with them. Danoob. Tanoob. Danoob? How's it going? I'm like legit really impressed with how smooth this one's running for me. But again, like I said, a lot of people are saying like, oh, it's crashing all the time. Lots of disconnects and server errors and stuff like that. The guy I'm with right now, Bernard Quartermass, he did say that Euro servers were like much worse at the moment, so it might be a server thing. And I don't remember how full this one was. Yeah, I don't think we're at full yet, so it could also be kind of performance hiding under the guise of a not full server as well. But so far, this has been probably the smoothest that I've seen in 3.3. Hey, the dude! How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody try out 3.3 yet, or is everybody still holding out? This is the Hammerhead. It's the latest in Aegis fleet escort craft. It's meant to be kind of like a fighter deterrent, so it is just fucking turrets to the max, right? Essentially, like, take the Retaliator's fucking turret loadout and just fucking spoon feed it crack nonstop, and that's essentially what you get with this thing. No, probably need to pay attention for a sec. Yeah, it's pretty massive for sure. I think it's at fucking size 4s now for the turrets, but it's 4 size 4s in a turret cluster, right? So it's pretty fucking impressive in terms of firepower. Yeah, absolutely, Christopher. I totally understand that one. I'm hoping that like it actually does start getting pushed out to live here soon. Was he gonna ram it? Oh my god, cat, please stop. God, the fucking girlfriend's kittens just like want to scale my fucking leg. I don't know if it's intentional or if it's a bug that the hammerhead doesn't have, what do you call it, a target MFD. It's kind of a frustrating. I feel you, nerd man. Honestly, when I first got into Star Citizen, I really wanted it for the PvP, and then after a while, I was like, you know what? I really just want to be a space trucker. I'm kind of over the whole competitive PvP for the most part. No, it's somebody else's ship, dude. They're just letting me roll around into the turret. Actually, the pilot station is up front there, and then this is me over here. Hey, Mr. Vay, how's it going? You'll be happy to know that it is running much smoother, Vay. So far. I hesitate to get excited. Is that a cat? Yeah, it is. Ow! Turns, give me turns, give me turns.
Shit.
Yeah, the remote turrets aren't working still, but they did get the what do you call it? The scanner's working at least on the Valk, so some moderate progress. I really don't like the ESP on turrets though. That stuff's really driving me crazy. Yeah, this is never going to come to console, at least not for like a very, very, very long time. There's no way. Like, it has a lot of issues running on pretty decent computers. Like console, I just can't imagine. I mean, it'd be cool for sure, right? But I think Elite Dangerous will always have that market kind of cornered because of the graphics with Elite Dangerous and the system requirements to run Elite Dangerous compared to Star Citizen. It's just like night and day. I really wish that they would fix this one. Like, you can kind of see it like snap too, right? And I really don't like that it does that. I'm very much looking forward to what do you call it, 3.4, when they kind of like rework the flight model and hopefully completely revamp ESP, because the ESP, both on like turrets and just in general, is really kind of out of hand. Hey Hoplite, sorry if I didn't give you a shout out there for a second. I would love to play Red Dead Redemption, but I am like promising myself that I'm not going to touch it until they finally announce that it's coming to PC. After Grand Theft Auto, I just can't bring myself to do it. Hey, Leader One, how's it going? I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 looks amazing for sure. I just don't want to buy it 3 times like I did Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm gonna hope that it does, but yeah, like obviously I am aware that they said that it won't. I just, you know, I'm gonna keep hoping that that's kind of bullshit marketing. And eventually they'll be like, oh, you know what? Fuck it. I mean, it seems like it would be insane for them not to bring it to PC, Jabroni. Like, Grand Theft Auto 5 really found its stride, in my opinion, on PC, especially, you know, so many people got into that for, like, the roleplay servers and all that other shit. It just seems it seems crazy to me that they wouldn't ever bring it over to PC as well. I mean, maybe they'll stick to that, I guess. Let's see here. Yeah, Son Goku, I agree. I think OCS was a big turning point for 3.3. I definitely never expected it to get this kind of performance again, right? And 3.3 has been, other than the crashes and the bugs and all the other crap that's been going on, you know, stuff that like they can obviously nail down. Performance-wise, it's in a tier that we haven't seen from Star Citizen in quite a while. Absolutely, the dude. It breaks my heart that so many people aren't familiar with the gray market and how to use it. I wish that I could show everybody how to do it. I mean, if you want to spend money on Star Citizen, to me, you should value your own money first, and then, you know, Chris Roberts says the dream is it's pledged, it's backed, it's funded, right? So like at that point, you should be looking out for your money and not Chris's money, if that makes sense. So that's why I strongly encourage people to like familiarize themselves with the gray market. And there's still ways that you can spend money on, you know, Cloud Imperium if that's the route you want to go, but at least make sure you get lifetime insurance with what you're buying. So, you know, go to the gray market, get your LTI tokens, and then spend money through CIG's site for like cross chassis upgrades and stuff like that. Yeah, Zim. I've seen like mixed stuff, right? So Zim's mentioning like frames are finally over 20 FPS and now it won't launch for him. I've seen a lot of different feedback on this patch so far. I've seen people saying, "Oh man, it's fucking crashing nonstop. I'm getting constant 30K disconnects, stuff like that." But for me so far, and the guys that I'm currently running with, like, it's running very smooth, and I haven't had a single crash yet. Before I started the stream, I flew out to Grim Hex for a little bit, fucked around out there, came back to Port Olisar, jumped in these guys' Hammerhead, and so far so good. Yeah, Hoplite, it's absolutely like playable performance right now. I hope it stays that way. I'm not in a group right now, Calexis. I'm just jumped in with these guys because they were on the pad at Port Olisar. It's one of the guys that I've been kind of like bullshitting with. I've been like trying to kill a lot of time sitting in Spectrum because there's nothing for me to play. I've been kind of waiting for November 6th when Arc Extinction comes out. So I've been sitting in Spectrum kind of bullshitting with people. Trying to kind of test the whole, like, you know, CIG Craigland came out and was like, oh yeah, you know, we want to open up Spectrum more, you know, kind of like tone down on the censorship and, you know, like over modding, mod action, stuff like that. So I've been kind of trying to test that by like hanging out in Spectrum and like, you know, voicing criticisms when I feel it's due and stuff like that. And so I've had a chance to kind of like bullshit with a lot of guys that I normally wouldn't. Oh, that's probably a server 30K. Yep, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that leader one, right? So like leader one's talking about how he's seen 5 crashes today, got stuck in the captain's chair, stuff like that, and it was more stable for him yesterday. That's kind of been like the back and forth, right? It seems like it runs good for some people one day, everything shits the bed the next day, but then it's running good for other people. Like it's been all over the place. So I've seen a lot of people being like, oh yeah, 3.3 to live release when? I don't see it being ready anytime soon. Personally, like I feel like it's going to be at least another week in terms of just stuff that's broken or keeps breaking or new stuff they keep breaking when they fix crashes. Server crashes, client crashes, stuff like that. It's been kind of like all over the place, right? Get this back up. So I don't know, man. It makes me wonder when 3.3.5 is going to come, right? I feel like we're not going to see Hurston until, like, at best, late November. Unless they've been, like, secretly focusing on that and not really paying attention to all the issues going on with 3.3. Which is possible, right? Like, who knows? But that's my concern. Yeah, I feel you, Calexis. Like, I feel like it's still kind of a little slanted in terms of moderation on Spectrum, but, like, what are you gonna do, I guess, right? Sinister! Yes, it's still kind of crashing issues. Well, okay, I haven't had crashing. I just got my first 30K, server error, so server-side issues versus client crash so far. And that's kind of what I was saying a little earlier today, or earlier in the stream. 3.3 has been like a cycle, right? It starts off with like really bad crashing. They fix the crashing, but then all of a sudden it's like frame rate and server issues. They fix those, and then all of a sudden it's like game problems, like shit not working, stuff locking up, elevators not working, getting stuck in the vendor, whatever. They fix that stuff, and then it goes back to crashing. They fix the crashing, and it keeps going on and on. 3.3 has been kind of like, God, what are those things called? Like a rotating Ferris wheel, almost, right? In terms of like shit that's going on. Can I claim this now? Maybe? So this has been my newest adventure with this patch, is I don't seem to be able to claim anything. So that's concerning. Yeah, it's absolutely been kind of like whack-a-mole, right? Like one thing gets better and then something else gets just totally shitted. Crapped on. Sorry. I'm trying to work on my constant use of inappropriate vocabulary. I mean, it's kind of like I said, right now, the game seems to be running smooth for me. But like, you know, there's this new crap where like I can't reclaim anything that gets blown up. You know, server 30K, stuff like that. So yeah, it's like it's constantly shifting from one like polar issue to the other. Hey Flander, I am kind of fucking around with it for a little bit. What I wanted to do tonight was work on getting back into using left stick, right mouse. But then I was just kind of fucking around, and then somebody was like, "Oh, hey, jump in our hammerhead." So jumped in the hammerhead, did some gunning, and then crashed. Well, server crashed, so that went to shit. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Launch complete.
Yeah, I would, man, I wouldn't hold your breath, Flander. I have a feeling it's probably going to be a little bit till we see Hurston, unless, so, like, this is the thing, my opinion on Hurston, right? Like, if they haven't been secretly, like, working on 3.3.5 instead of 3.3, then it's going to be a while. If they've been working on 3.3 and not 3.3.5, then I don't know. I have not been able to do that. No, Zim. Zim was asking if you get to keep the ships that you buy in game now. I haven't been able to do that, but I was told it was a bug that you weren't able to rebuy them, right? That you were supposed to be able to. It just wasn't functioning. So I don't know. The last time I bought a ship like that, it wasn't working. That's probably what I'm going to end up having to do, Jack. Is get a mouse that does have like multiple side buttons like that, because I'm really leaving out some stuff that's kind of critical with the current mouse I have, because it's like a shooter mouse from when I was playing Destiny, right? And it doesn't have a whole lot of like clicky options there. That or voice attack would also work, but I feel like a retard using voice attack when streaming, so obviously that's not going to work for me. So yeah, something like a Razer Naga would be pretty great right about now. Which, I have one, I haven't dug it out because it's all in boxes and stuff. Let's stop by fucking Levski and see how it's running over there. Since we haven't been by there since opening night. Yeah, that was the issue I had as well, Jesse. I wasn't able to respawn it.
Quantum travel engaged.
But I was trying to ask about it in Spectrum, and like they made it sound like it was a bug and that it wasn't intended that you can't respawn it. So I don't know. Oh, really? So the ship store's just totally fucked now? Rip. Okay, well. Balls. I've never been able to do that, Jack. I've tried really hard to get to a point where I'm comfortable using something like the Naga.
Quantum travel complete.
Okay, that's weird. Using something like the Naga for doing like hot bars and stuff, and I can't do it. Confused. Is Levski gone now? Or did we run out of fuel? No. What the hell? That was weird. Was it being really weird with the jumping? I don't know. Okay, there we go. That was strange.
Quantum travel engaged.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of fucked right now. Damn it. It's definitely kind of messed up right now, Flander. The ship prices are pretty extreme if you only have something like a starter package compared to like the amount of missions that we have and stuff like that available, or in terms of like payout rewards and stuff. And so that alone kind of makes the whole like, oh hey, there's in-game ship purchases. It almost, I don't want to say it invalidates it, but it really kind of doesn't make it great. Son of a bitch. This is just gonna be a thing now.
Quantum travel complete.
Real Peacemaker. Do I think Chris will have them implement RTX and Vulkan? I think probably yes, right? Like, Chris is really into things looking fucking as good as they can. And I think that is, like, right up his fucking alley, unfortunately. Alright, so... that was weird. And it's really... I don't know why it's like this, right? But it's weird that, like, my fucking cursor is down here, right? On top of, like, the Delamar icon. But, like, the Quantum Drive interface makes it look like you want to do that, right? I don't know.
Quantum travel
It's always confused
engaged.
me. Yeah, I agree, Mark, right? Like, it's definitely... the state of ship purchasing right now
Quantum travel
is not
complete.
fucking friendly. For people who don't own additional packages, or additional ships besides, like, starter packages. Like, if your one ship is a freelancer or a cutlass, yeah, you can probably bang your way out to a prospector and then, you know, eventually bigger stuff when Lorville comes online. Moderately decently. But yeah, if you're not one of those people, then it's gonna suck to be you. Oh, where is Levski? Every time. There we go. And so that's the big reason I didn't want to make a video talking about like the ship store specifically and the pricing and stuff like that, is because they just don't have any fucking like mission economy in, right? Like, there's a very limited couple like different types of missions, and like the payouts are all fucking dog shit and whatever.
Quantum travel complete.
And you know, if we get to a point where like way later on that's the state of things, then yeah, absolutely, call them out. But like, I feel like they should at least be given the time to get more mission types and stuff in. Like, hopefully come in with like 3.4 or whatever by then, and then absolutely like start fucking holding them to the fucking fire. Damn it, I'm doing it again. Is it going to be full of ship's kiffies? Alright guys, don't laugh at me when I fucking crash. Because I will almost certainly fucking crash.
there. On behalf of the People's Alliance, welcome to Levski. Name's Eslin. I run the hangars here, which
20
is great
frames
for
at Levski
you
still.
because
Nice.
you're probably looking to land.
Leader 1, I meant to check really quick to see if there was a new patch, but I figured whatever, I'll deal with it in a little bit.
Landing gear engaged. Proximity alert. Deck.
Alright, let's cheat. Fuck it. No integrity!
Shields disabled.
The dude, I'm not gonna call and ask for a landing just because I want to run down to the shop really quick and see if everything's there, and if it is, I'll mess with that really quick. But if not, I'm gonna drop the game out really quick and see if there's an update. If they let me inside. Other door, other door, other door. Uh-oh. Well, that's new. Oh, there we go. That explains it. There we go. Alright, let's go see if there's a patch. Hey, Move, what's going on? Ugh. Yeah, so like they didn't add a lot of the bigger ships because they what do you call it? I think the bigger ships are coming with the Lorville store. Like, I don't remember them ever talking about Teach's shop coming out. So I think that was something that they kind of just mashed together really quick because 3.3.5 is taking them longer than they were planning. But that's just my own, like, personal speculation, right? Update, update, update. Let's see, verify. Let's try that. I don't know yet, Kilexis. I've been kind of like putting off doing a Hammerhead video specifically for a little bit. I don't know if I'm gonna get into that ship or not, honestly. In terms of like actually like bothering to make a video for it. Maybe, I don't know. I'll let you know if I do. I guess it just kind of depends, right? Like, every time I'm like, oh man, I'm going to give Star Citizen stuff a break for a while, I start getting people asking me to do stuff like that, right? Currently, I've just done ship reviews on ones that, like, I was genuinely, like, interested in the concept. Yeah, hopefully with 3.4, by 3.4, there's some kind of like life to the galaxy. Alright, I guess our trip out to Levski was absolutely pointless. That's good to know. That's cool. That's cool. Can I get my fucking ships back yet? No? Alright. Alright, we're down 2 ships. Motherfucker. Next.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
So, like, that's something I'd really like to see, Eduardo, right? Is kind of AI traffic where, like, it looks like the galaxy's not just a barren wasteland or a barren sandbox where players are just fucking off. Man, I don't know why I try not to swear. It lasts like 10 seconds. Valkyrie. Now just remember, somebody thought that a ship this big, with a cargo bay that big, shouldn't be able to carry any fucking cargo. All of that is just literally wasted. One vehicle. Good game. What are you gonna do, right? I'm really hoping that they do fix it and actually add SCU to it, because it literally makes no sense. There's no reason that it just hand-wavium excuse can't carry cargo. All right.
Takeoff complete.
Easy little turtle.
Landing gear raised.
Yeah, that's not very good. We're just gonna keep throwing ships at our problem here until we get to Levski. See, like this one we're good, and it's lined up.
Quantum drive is now on.
I think like that's a really critical part of Star Citizen, right? Is having that atmosphere, especially when you see them talking about how like they're gonna have like 9-to-1 NPCs to players, right? Like 9 NPCs to every player. And then like, you know, right now it's just this dead sandbox. You know, Sandy was talking about, oh yeah, we're adding FPS AI. And it's like, okay, there's a couple of them that like spawn for a mission in Security Post Korea. Like, at this point I was kind of hoping for like AI on planets and like actual like interactions and stuff happening, right? Not just like, oh hey, empty fucking sandbox still. That's cool, I guess. So like that's my issue. Yeah, it absolutely, like, you look at like Elite Dangerous and like just sitting in one of the starports, right? It feels alive. Like there's ships coming and going. There's stuff there, and Star Citizen needs that on like their own kind of like level, right? They need to have it to where you feel those like ships coming and going. There are people coming and going and like doing their own thing, not just like 20 AI spawned inside of a, you know, Olisar that just stand there and don't really do anything, right? Yeah, it needs to be like huge, it needs to feel big, it needs to be busy. And right now it's like everything except that. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that they were talking about doing, right? Hoplite was like making it feel alive with like AI going about their business, doing missions and stuff like that. Man, God, Quantum is just like fucked. There we go. Finally.
Quantum drive is now on.
I think it does look interesting. Bash your head in. Like, the biomes and stuff look really cool, right? I could see spending time like doing just a bunch of random shit there. But it needs to run like consistently. It needs to not crash. I need like actual persistence, not this like, well, if you make it to a bed and log out, then you're good. I need like, you know, wherever I am, if I fucking crash or something like that, it's persistent. I'm not penalized for that. Because otherwise, like, I'm never going to want to actually play this, right? Like, it's one thing for me to stream it, jump on, talk about it, all that crap.
Is now off.
Man, this is really getting annoying. It's one thing for me to stream Star Citizen, get on to capture fucking footage and stuff like that. But, like, I'm not going to play the game if I'm constantly, like, trying to play the game while also worrying, oh, if I get a random crash out of fucking nowhere, I lose everything. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely bash your head in, right? Like, for anybody that, like, can't see YouTube chat, he talks about how every MMO he's played, Star Wars Galaxy, Classic WoW, they all had, like, public transport that was almost like a gathering point, right? Like something, it was like a social experience in its own, right? Either sitting on the boat in World of Warcraft or waiting around for the shuttles on Star Wars Galaxy, stuff like that. That's the kind of oh man, I almost said it and then I said stuff halfway through. I'm getting better, guys. I'm being more kid friendly. That's the kind of stuff that like makes an MMO, right? Like as great as World of Warcraft is or any of the more recent MMOs, right? None of them have that social experience that I used to have back in like Star Wars Galaxies or especially EverQuest, right? When like you actually had like long travel times where like you socialized with people because you were sitting around for so long. I feel like that breeds that MMO emergent social experience or whatever, right? Where like you actually get to like meet people that, you know, are on your server or whatever, that play in your area, and actually like build relationships on those games through that. So I think like the public transport stuff isn't bad in Star Citizen. You know, it's a trade-off, right? Like you don't want 15, 20-minute train rides, but at the same time, like you do want to kind of like give a chance to like funnel players together, to have them like interact and like see each other and get those kind of social interactions. So like, you know, on one hand, I want to be like, oh, screw the train, man. I just want to get straight to my ship landing pad or whatever and get out and start doing the mission. But on the other hand, I'm also like, yeah, I mean, I get it. Typhicide? I am in the middle of an asteroid field because I, for some reason, am having issues with quantum traveling. To where it just doesn't want to show up sometimes. And, like, it keeps dropping me for no reason. I don't know. I think it's something with this patch because I've never had this happen before with jumping to Delamar.
Quantum drive is now on.
And it's done it twice now, both in the Terrapin and the Mustang. So, I don't know. But at least, for the most part, the patch is running better. No problem, Conflicted. I will be around more. I try really hard to, like, motivate myself to stream, but, like, it's just kind of hard to commit, like, hours at a time where I'm going to sit down and, like, play something. Because I'm, like, super, super sporadic, right? Like, I'll jump on, I'll start playing something, I'm like, okay, well, let's go do something else. So it makes trying to stream a little bit difficult. Oh, it crashed again? Nice. Yeah, I keep forgetting to turn that on after every crash. Sorry about that. Where's that green? Where's that green? There it is. I don't know why I don't just remember to look for that big old asteroid every time.
Quantum drive is now on.
I'm running this on a, what do you call it? A GTX 980. And it's the 4 gig card. So, like, it's not anything crazy. I'm looking at upgrading the computer next month. Well, November, since it's my birthday, and
Quantum drive.
it's like my excuse to be able to upgrade stuff without the girlfriend being like, why are you spending money on stuff that's gaming? No, she's actually really cool with gaming stuff. She was like, oh, hey, it's your birthday. Do you want me to help you buy computer parts? And I was like, no, it's cool. I can do it. She's like, are you sure? I want to do it. And I was like, okay. So yeah, I'm looking at upgrading the GPU and the CPU because they're both kind of a little bit dated. And I'm thinking I'm just going to try and get a Threadripper, since if Chris Roberts is going to get up on stage when he's being sponsored by Intel and say, man, the Threadrippers are really killing it in Star Citizen, then that must mean that they're doing pretty decent. So hopefully here next month I am going to go ahead and pick up a Threadripper, and I'm still trying to decide between a 2080 or a 1080. Part of me just wants to go ahead and jump to the 2080 so I don't have to deal with upgrading GPU for a while. But we'll see. I don't know if it's really worth it. This ship is the Terrapin. It's the little scout ship. Because I don't think I'm ever going to really be into dogfighting anymore. Like, I mean, it's fun to do here and there, but like, if this game were to go like full release and everything, I really would be more interested in doing industrial stuff at this point. So I got the Terrapin as kind of like a scout ship to play with any of my friends who end up being like really into combat. See, I just saw an article about that also. I'm in your bathtub. And like some people are speculating that like they're not DOA, it's people like trying to overdo them. But either way, I think like, yeah, I am probably gonna wait on a 2080. So because if I get a 1080 Ti, which is running fairly well with Star Citizen, like most people I know that are running them are having no problem with frame rates based on their GPU. It allows me to spend the extra money that would be towards a 2080 on a higher end Threadripper. So I think that's probably what I'm looking at. Yeah, conflicted. When he endorsed the Threadripper, like he was like sitting there talking about like the performance stuff, and he was like, "Yeah, the guys at the Threadrippers are really killing it." And I was like, "Oh my god, this is sponsored by Intel, right?" Like I was like mentally like trying to rewind the convention and be like, "Wait, did they switch back to AMD? I can't remember. Shit. No, Intel. What did he just say?" And that's when I was like, "Oh yeah, he's totally fucking. He's definitely a little bit drunky." Max safe speed 300, eh? We'll see about that. Uh-oh, that was stupid. I regret doing this. Oh, there we go. God damn it, Levski, why? Why? Alright, so let's just stop trying to go to Levski, because this is starting to feel a little bit repetitive. Motherfuck. Yeah, that was literally the game that pushed me to do my first major upgrade. The noob was Ark Survival Evolved, right? I was like, okay, I'm sick and tired of the memory leaks in this game. I'm just gonna get 64 gigs, so I don't have to worry about like running Ark and then suddenly it's like, oh, out of memory, boop. Yeah, Calexis, that's 3 in a row. Oh, nice, Jack. That's pretty awesome. Man. So, like, this is the kind of stuff that really frustrates me because I'm like, how does CIG's internal QA not catch this kind of crap? Like, it's not like I'm breaking stuff that, like, is really specific shit, right? Like, I'm literally flying to one of their 3 fucking ports on, like, the most traffic common sense route there is, right? From Olisar to fucking Levski. Like, it's a fucking main route. It's not like I'm jumping from, like, Olisar to some comm array to another comm array and then to Levski, right? Like, it's such basic ass shit that, like, literally anybody in QA should be catching this shit. And how they're not, like, what's going on? I just don't get it. It's super frustrating. Yeah, Son Goku. I like if somebody asked me like is 3.3 PTU worth downloading, I would probably say no. There have been a couple patches where like it's playable for a couple hours. Like you could sit down, play it for like 3-4 hours and no problem. But for the most part, most of them are like either server crashes or client crashes or they just straight break everything. So yeah, I honestly, like, I don't know if I would recommend bothering with the PTU right now. Yeah, let's go with luxury. Wait, did it work? No? Alright, I guess, no. God damn it. I don't really have a racer. Oh, actually, I haven't flown this thing in fucking forever. Yeah, Eduardo, I crashed. Well, the server crashed. So it seems like I can't get to Levski. When I try to go to Levski, bad things seem to happen. Oh, God. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Actually, sure it is up. Okay.
Checkpoint. Checkpoint.
Nope. God God, I forgot how hard it is to see out of the bottom of the Merlin.
Checkpoint.
Okay, I'm gonna die a lot, so don't make fun of me, guys. This is, I don't know. It's like trying to ride a bike again after not riding a bike forever, but also losing one of your legs. That's what it feels like. It's really, god damn it. It's really weird trying to get used to flying with a stick in your left and a mouse in your right.
Checkpoint.
That and I haven't done like dead zones at all. So like, because of how I hold the stick, I end up kind of like doing elevation on accident.
Checkpoint.
Damn it, down. Fuck. Oh my.
Checkpoint. Checkpoint. Checkpoint.
Come on, baby. There we go. Good girl.
Checkpoint.
Fuck me. I blacked myself out. Ah. Yeah, I honestly like... Oh, fuck. And that's why cockpit views are great. Honestly, really enjoy racing in Star Citizen. It's been like one of the most consistent game modes that, like, no matter what patch, I honestly have a lot of fun with it.
Checkpoint. Lab complete. 100%. Checkpoint.
Like, you can see it dipping down. It's because I need to tune this fucking joystick still. Which normally, like if you're flying around in the PU, which is why I haven't fucked with it yet. If you're flying around in the PU, it doesn't really matter. But like when you're trying to do races and you're just trying to like sneak into all these like little random nooks and crannies and shit, it definitely gets you killed quick.
Checkpoint.
Come on, Merlin.
Checkpoint.
I really kind of wish I had kept the Razor now.
Checkpoint. 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 Lab complete. Checkpoint. Checkpoint.
I am flying in the P-52 Merlin right now. Did I just say I wish I had kept the Merlin? I wish I had kept the M50.
Checkpoint.
My bad. The M50 or the Razor, either of those are just so much more fun to race with.
Checkpoint.
Because like you tell them where you want to go, and they just immediately go there. God damn it. The Merlin is so much fun to fly, but like the visibility for doing these is not fun. Ah, damn it. I overshot that big time.
Checkpoint. Checkpoint.
Oh, so right now I'm trying to fly with a left-hand stick, which is the Thrustmaster 16000, and right-hand mouse. So let's see here. The stick does my vertical, side-to-side strafe and rolling, and then the mouse does the yaw and pitch. And then my throttle is controlled with the trigger and one of the other buttons on the joystick proper for straight forward and straight back. Afterburner is another one of the buttons on the joystick. It's super disorientating at first, right? Because it feels very not natural. At least not for me, right? Like I've spent a lot of time before Star Citizen flying like helicopter type sims, so I'm used to like a joystick and or basically a HOTAS, right? Like a hands-on stick and throttle. So that's what feels natural to me. So holding a stick in my left hand does not feel right at all. It feels very fucking alien. But I really like it once you get used to it. The problem is I haven't fucking played with a stick and a mouse in almost a year. And when I stopped doing it, I had basically just gotten it down. So like it's almost like completely relearning muscle memory all over again.
Checkpoint.
Oh, it's gonna be close. Yep.
Checkpoint.
Damn it. Yeah, I would like to get back to a stick and a throttle quadrant with pedals again. I used to have pedals when I was doing what do you call it, like DCS Black Shark and stuff like that. My problem is when I had that set up, I had like a whole, basically like a sim pit built for it. So like everything was like drilled in and secured. So like, I don't know. I just don't have that space anymore. Especially now with like 3 kids. At the time, like back then, I didn't have any kids. It was just a lot easier to have like that space for whatever I wanted.
Checkpoint.
So that's been like the biggest reason I haven't gone back to that kind of flight setup. Ah, dude. This one's gonna fucking hurt.
Checkpoint.
Nope, 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 nope.
Checkpoint.
The problem with this setup for me right now is shit. Other than that building, the problem with me for this setup is like I normally know what I want it to do, but because I'm not 100% used to it, when something goes wrong, like I make a natural like flight mistake, and I go to make corrective action, I like panic correct and do like the wrong type of like counter. And it usually gets me fucking killed.
Checkpoint.
Like that. God damn it.
Your adventure, courtesy of Kruger Intergalactic. Systems active.
Checkpoint.
Alright, let's god damn. I'm looking at chat. After this lap, let's go ahead and we'll jump back over to PU and see if it's working any better. So just be a quick exit game, see if they put out a hotfix patch or not, and then we'll try our luck with the PU again. Do you think they are trying to hold off on server meshing for as long as possible until they can figure out how to get, excuse me, thousands of people on one shard? Man, I think that they are. Oh God, this is gonna be so this is gonna be a failure tinfoil hat moment, right? I think if they are holding off on trying to get server meshing implemented, the reason would be more that like they know or have an idea what is like reasonably accomplishable with the use of server meshing, but it's not gonna be the huge like player populations that a lot of people backed for and like were imagining. So I think like it's almost like postponing bad news, right? Like they're trying to like delay it so that it doesn't affect like the development of the game, the funding of the game, and the company and all that. If they were intentionally stalling on server meshing. What do you think of buying landing cameras to have under the ship or cockpit for bigger ships? I would fucking... Damn it. Dang it again. Dang it. Darn crap. I think that is something that absolutely needs to be in game, right? So, like, this is kind of one of those things that a lot of us who've been, like, preaching better cockpits in Star Citizen have run into, where people are like, oh, well, you don't need better cockpits for these big ships. They're not dogfighters. And it's like, okay, yeah, but they still have to land. Like, do you want to risk landing on a rock that for some reason blows up your Starfarer or, you know, whatever cargo ship you're hauling that has, like, potentially millions in UEC of cargo in it? Like, that's just stupid, right? And they're like, oh, well, you know, when you go in landing mode, it shows like the landing grid. Because this was like way back in the day when like you would hit landing mode and it would like show your ship's proximity to the ground and all this other crap. But it doesn't have that anymore, right? And even like on top of that, like now at the landing pads, right, you just get like a little green arrow that says like land on this pad or else. And that's all you have. But if you're out at like a planet side landing area, right? Like not a port, but like, you know, any of the outposts and stuff like that, you don't get that landing interface. So it's like all, you know, eye and like terrain dead reckoning, right? Like you associate something off to your side and use that to kind of like gauge what's underneath you. Which is like, you know, it's not impossible to do, but it's really irritating when like a lot of the cockpits, it's really hard to like maintain something in your like peripheral where like you can use it to gauge your proximity over the landing pad unless you know, cheat and go into external mode. And I hate doing it. I hate using external mode in games. I feel like really dirty when I do it. I mean, like, yeah, it's there and I guess it's an option and you could like head canon it as like, oh, I'm using an orbital landing drone or something like that. But like, I just really don't like it. I would rather be like first person only in ships and just like, hey, this is how it works. Like, I want to be a starship pilot, right? Not like a third-person video game player. You know? Like, if I'm going to play Star Citizen and the whole, like, the sim experience and all that crap, right? Like, I don't want to have to be, like, going into third-person camera to, like, make sure that there aren't, like, OCS proc-gen rock formations underneath me that I didn't see when I was approaching. And that's the other thing, right? Like, there have been times where like I'm coming in and like I'll visually pick out an area that I want to land. I'm like, okay, there's nothing there. I'm good. I get over it and I start like, what do you call it? I start bleeding off altitude, right? And I get down to the ground and then I hit a rock and I'm like, God damn it, something fucking popped in while I was fucking like, while it was underneath me. And I just murdered not dropping the F-bomb there. I'm on a roll. Yeah, it's really frustrating because you basically have to do it, right? I mean, unless you have like one of those ships that has like the cockpit visibility out front. All right. Can we claim any of these yet? All right. Oh, and the expedited fee. Motherfucker. Oh, God bless you. Cloud Imperium QA team. You guys are earning that money. Alright, well that one is working. That one I can't claim. Oh, that one works. Nice. Alright, what else we got that we can fuck around with? You know, I haven't been in a kill in forever. Let's mess with that.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Zoro. Like, some of the ships I can, and some of them I can't, evidently. I don't know. Foul fungus, are you foul fagus? Are you asking if it's gonna have a bulldozer so you can push that wreck off the deck? Yeah, like, you know, I understand QA issues where like they're super random, like obscure crashes or, you know, whatever, right? Like that stuff makes sense to me. But when it's like very obvious stuff that you should be like instantly encountering, does this not work now? Go up. Or is the server crashing again? Oh, it does look very barren here. We do have a Discord. It should be in the video description. Son of a bitch. Yep. All right. Well, this is basically unplayable. We do have a server Discord. No Patreon. I'm not doing it for the money. You know, so I'm not really worried about that. And it's also, I feel dirty even just for bad token. I wonder if there's a patch. I feel dirty even when people just like subscribe or donate because like I'm really not reliable in terms of like constantly doing streams and putting out content, right? Like I run the channel kind of like as just a side hobby. So like when something comes up that I want to talk about, I'll make a video. When I want to just like stream and bullshit with people, I'll do that, right? But it's really intermittent. It's not like I have like a channel schedule or anything like that. So to me, like making a Patreon doesn't really make sense for me, you know? Yeah, the link that Calexis just put out, that is our server Discord. You think so, Nami? I don't know. I've gotten a lot of those, so I guess I'm pretty much rich now. I mean, I definitely have some bias, right? You know, like there are certain decisions that Chris Roberts makes in terms of like game design that I don't agree with, and obviously, like you can tell, like I don't want the whole Second Life simulation type experience, right? Like I'm more focused on like spaceships, right? So like the more in depth they go on like eating, drinking, showering, all that first person shit, I don't care about any of that. And I'm fine with it as long as like it doesn't affect me playing the space game, right? Because that's Star Citizen that I bought, right? I bought a space game about flying spaceships, right? Not this other crap. Tobatage. It crashed on me, so I'm logging all the way out and then back in. So like I obviously have biases in terms of like the direction I'd like to see the game go. But outside of that, like I try to be fair, right? And most things that I talk about are things that are either directly from CIG or it's their own source material, stuff like that. And like I get a lot of people like don't want to hear negativity at all about Star Citizen, and I understand that, and that's, you know, that's the way they want to live. I'm not here to stop them. Oh shit, you know what? Is this... Ah! One sec, guys. Okay, that is working. Man, I really don't know if it's even worth trying anymore at this point. Sup, bro? Do I think the success or failure of Fallout 76 is intertwined with the fate of this game as a AAA project? What? I haven't even looked at Fallout 76. I haven't watched anything like in terms of like gameplay previews from Bethesda or anything, right? It's not even on my radar right now. I didn't pre-order. I know next to nothing about Fallout 76 because for me personally, Arc Extinction is a handful of days away. So that's my concern, right? Like they were too much overlapping in terms of like release window for me to like realistically care. Let's try an Aussie server. Yeah, Jack. I think that's like... I think that's one of the problems with saying like, oh, hey, everybody's a tester. Here's the issue council, right? Like, there's so much overlap on tickets that are like submitted, right? Like nobody bothers to look up if an issue is like a known issue or not. They just like, okay, here's my opinion. This is broken. Most of them, they don't like give realistic steps for repeating it if it's a repeatable issue. Just all sorts of stuff like that. So like the issue council almost feels like just a clusterfuck. I am excited for X4. I think that looks really cool. I actually hope that X4 is really good because it'll kind of like let me have that like space game where like I can go around trucking and you know all that other crap, right? And hopefully it'll last me like a while so that Star Citizen can kind of try to get its shit together and at least like kill some time until like 3.4 actually comes out, God knows when, or 3.6. You know, when Star Citizen hopefully has shit a little bit more fleshed out. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, Namey, it's clearly not an issue of money with Star Citizen, right? They have just a ludicrous development, you know, studio size, right, between all their different studios and stuff. So, you know, yeah, they can say they're hiring or whatever, but like how many more people are available in the industry that are going to want to like get into this in terms of like workforce, right? So like having a bigger budget clearly isn't a factor, right? Because I've never seen them be like, oh man, if only we could afford to hire more people, right? Like every time CIG talks about their employees, they're like, oh man, we're trying to hire more people. So yeah, like you could throw $1 billion at Star Citizen. It's not going to suddenly make it come faster. Bash your head in. Do I think we'll ever see large scale battles over 100 people at frames better than 30 frames per second? Oh, maybe. I don't want to say no because OCS really was a kind of a big surprise in terms of like how much it improved performance. So maybe. I'm personally more skeptic towards large scale battles, especially like 100+ people. But perhaps I could be surprised by the time we get server meshing and server side object container streaming. Maybe. But I would lean more towards like, don't count on it. Just because of the complexity of Star Citizen, right? Like, you look at PlanetSide 2 and games like that, right? Where you have just hundreds of people, all these vehicles and stuff like that, all this chaos going on, right? But those vehicles don't have like internals. They're basically like a mesh with like some positions where you snap in as your, you know, character if you get on like a Liberator or God, what's the big dropship? Man, my mouth is just terrible. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to swear, people. But yeah, you get into the like all of these ships in PlanetSide 2, right? But they don't have interiors. So like even that, you know, can kind of like really lag out sometimes, and like they have some hardcore loading and unloading in terms of like pop in with like, oh man, there's too many people, let's unload some of these guys, stuff like that, right? So and even that game still, that game can go to a standstill pretty fast. So like yeah, I'm very skeptical that with how complex Star Citizen is, we're going to ever see like really large hundreds of people battles. Alright, this is dead. Let's go ahead and kill that. I mean, I would love to see it, but yeah. I don't want to say it's not possible, but I'm very doubtful that we'll ever see that. Yes, Scanner. I am running the most current PTU build. Every time I've gone to desktop, I've given it some time to let the launcher try to update. There we go. We'll turn the music on so you know I'm at the launcher. I've totally closed out of the launcher, relaunched it, let it sit for a while. Let it sat. To try to like let it update if there was one. I've tried verifying files just to make sure that there's nothing to download. So yeah, I am running the latest PTU. It worked great for me for about 30 minutes, and it has absolutely gone to crap after that. So yeah, this build kind of sucks. I think I'm gonna go ahead and kill the whole Star Citizen stream for now, because this is like, it's not even remotely playable, right? Like, it's one thing when like I can dick around for like 30 minutes or an hour or something like that with everybody, in between like session interruptions, but this is just crap. I might come back a little later with some Warframe. I've been kind of getting into that again with the build up to Fortuna. So hyped for that expansion also. See, that's why I didn't get into Fallout 76, right? I've got Ark Extinction coming, which I'm super invested into Ark Survival Evolved. And then the Fortuna update for Warframe, which is free, is also coming in November. So it's like, man, why would I pay for a new game when I have two that literally suck up so much of my day? Like, I can completely lose an entire day on Ark or Warframe. So yeah, that's what Fallout 76 lost to, was Ark and Warframe. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and murder this application because it's going to be pointless until the QA team pulls their head out of their butts and figures out how to test for very obvious client failures. And they put out a hotfix. Star Citizen's just like not working in this build. It's probably, man, it's so weird because it started out amazing and then immediately turned into probably the least playable one I've had so far. But yeah, I might be back doing some Warframe if you guys are interested in that. Just jump on the Discord and let me know, hey, yeah, play Warframe Failure. And we could do some community stuff if you have Warframe. Absolutely let me know. I love playing Warframe with people from the channel. So if you have that, please jump into the Discord and be like, yo, Failure, I have Warframe. Here's my in-game name. And I'll add you up. Alright guys, thank you everybody for joining me. I'm sorry that Star Citizen has once again let us down, and I have not been able to stream Star Citizen shenanigans with you. Hopefully in the near future. Because 3.3.5 is looking further and further out, and 3.4 is starting to look mid-quarter 1 2019 at this rate. So, yeah. Don't get your hopes up on 3.4. Alright guys, I will see y'all a little later. Thank you for joining me. I am FailureToReport, and I'll see you guys next time.